皆さんこんにちは。美穂と葵の海外生活チャンネルへようこそ。
Hello everyone! Welcome to Miho and Aoi's channel.
英語で雑談シリーズ。
今日はいろんな国の外国人は知らない実は失礼な行いについて面白い投稿を見つけたので、それについて話してみたいと思います。Okay, so the other day we found this post by Ron Besk, which goes,What is considered rude in your country that foreigners may not realize? And I thought it was very, very interesting topic. So we can
talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the first person goes, in Brazil, arriving on time is considered rude.
Is that true? Is that really true? I don't know.
Yeah, we have to ask somebody who is actually from Brazil. But I've definitely heard that, in some countries, you are supposed to arrive a little later than you promised. And, Japanese people are notorious for arriving earlier to the meetings. But at the same time, as I was speaking, I just remembered that, when you're visiting someone's home, some home party, you're supposed to arrive a little later, 5 minutes later. Because arriving earlier would, they might be still working on their, in the kitchen or something or cleaning. So in that context, I can kind of understand.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. In that context. Or parties in general, house parties, you wanna arrive when the, floor is warmer. So being fashionably late.
Right.
It's such a common thing in LA. But I don't think arriving on time is rude. I feel like it's more respectful to arrive on time, even though you know that there wouldn't be as many people.
Right.
If you really care about the host, then I feel like it's better to arrive earlier so that you can contribute to warming up the floor.
Right.
Not just joining once everybody else did that. So I don't know. Well, I guess we need to find somebody from Brazil to confirm this. Yeah, let us know in the comment if you know. Another person below from Australia commented, thinking you're skipping the queue for any reason. We don't care if you're old, a celebrity, or the Pope. Get in line, my friend. I feel that's very Japanese too.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know about how Australia is so similar to Japanese standard, because when we were looking at the tipping, a lot of Australian people said very similar way of thinking to Japanese people. I feel like
interesting.
Yeah, it's a new discovery. Pope, I don't know. I might have to give up my position for them, but
if there is an emperor in the queue, I will feel bad, but I feel like Japanese emperor would line up in the queue.
That's also true. Yes.
The queue is British English, right?
Oh,
they say line here, right?
That's true. I always say queue, are you queuing, or are you in the queue and stuff, and then some people get confused. Yeah. I didn't realize that. That's true. Are you in the line?
That's right.
Way for American people.
Right. The next one is in the Philippines. It goes, in the Philippines, it is generally considered rude to say yes immediately when offered something. You have to say no first and wait for the person offering to insist. That I can kind of see the similarity, maybe in Asian countries.
Yeah. In Japan too, right? I feel for example, Indio no katamari.
Right.
They're always one piece of meat or one piece of dish that are left.
Right.
Nobody's touching. And then you kind of have to, even if you want to eat it, you kind of have to offer it to somebody. And then when they say no, you're just yes.
So it's risky.
Yeah, it is risky because a lot of times, especially in the US, if you offer it to somebody, they'll take it. Yeah, they'll just take it. I usually take it when I'm offered. I'm just like, yes, sure. If nobody's eating, yes, I'm eating.
So I guess my American husband is kind of learning that, the Japanese cue. That, when I say, oh, do you want it? And he kind of realized that I actually want it. So he started saying like, you want this, right? You can have it. And I'm like, yes.
I completely stopped offering people. When I want to eat it, I'm just gonna eat it.
Yeah.
And I know that I will get in trouble when I'm back in Japan.
Yeah, we have to go back to the Japanese common sense. So
Yes.
the social cues.
Okay, the next person. So I think this person's from Poland. In Poland, it's considered rude to point with your finger. From a young age, children are taught that they shouldn't point at things, people with their fingers. Additionally, it is rude to be loud in public places and not to take off your shoes when entering someone's home. So that sounds very similar to like Japanese values, no? Like pointing with the finger, I feel like that's usually rude, right? You don't want to be loud in public places, yes. And taking off your shoes. Oh wow, Poland.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, next one is France. France, not looking someone in the eyes while talking to them. Put red wine in the fridge. Protesting and complaining is one of a small talk. If someone starts complaining casually to you, you have to listen and at least nod your head. This one is interesting.
Very interesting. Wow, I don't like looking at somebody in the eyes when I'm talking to them.
I get so awkward.
Yeah, it's very awkward. Oh, put red wine in the fridge. Yes, I totally get why would anybody do that. That's a crime. Unless it's a little bit fizzy drink. Protesting and complaining is one of our small talk. That's very funny. That's very French. Okay, the next person, this person is from Portugal. They said, please don't come to Portugal and thank us by saying gracias. We are not Spanish. It's obrigado if you're a guy or obrigada if you're a girl. And definitely do not interrupt a Portuguese person while they speak. Yeah, I think the first part is more about the language. It's not even about culture stuff. I think that's very important to distinguish.
Yes.
The Portuguese and Spanish, of course. We would be mad if what are we the equivalent? I cannot think of any
If
language
someone
that's...
says ni hao to us.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, and do not interrupt a Portuguese persons. Yes, that's very similar to Japanese people too. I feel like, yeah, that's one thing I had to unlearn when I came to the US because like, you're taught to wait for people to like finish talking when you start talking, right, in Japan. So I used to do that. I was waiting for people to stop talking, and I was in MBA classes in a discussion or like the question session, and nobody shuts up. If you are waiting for somebody to finish talking, you're never gonna get to talk. So you kind of have to force your way into it, or like you have to make it really obvious that you're trying to talk. And that I struggled a lot, but now I can naturally do it, like whenever people are talking, and then they don't get offended even if I start talking. So okay, this is a very natural thing to do. Of course, like it depends on the situations, but like generally if you're like in a discussion or something, you gotta try to put your foot in there.
Yeah, that was definitely the same experience for me too. And I actually asked someone, like a speech like related person, and I asked, when I'm in a group with American people, I don't know when to speak. Like they keep on talking. And then she said, like, whenever they breathe, that's your like timing to go in. And I was like, that's a really good advice. Thank you so much. And I started doing that, and it's more natural to do that. Yeah,
that's something I need to be careful. Again, I feel like going back to Japan, because I feel offended if I was speaking Japanese and then somebody started talking when I haven't finished. When I'm speaking Japanese, I don't think I would do that. So maybe it's also a language thing too.
So the next one is from Ireland. In Ireland, under no circumstances, tell us how you actually are when we ask how are you. A grand or fine are perfectly reasonable answers, and you may go as far as keeping the good side out if you're having a bad day.
No, I totally agree. I feel like this is similar in the US as well. Like nobody actually wants to know if you're happy or if you're sad, but people ask you all the time, "Oh, how are you? How's it going? What's going on? What's up?" And you're supposed to answer, "I'm good. I'm great," and just ask back. That's something I really didn't know in the beginning as well. I was like, I like start thinking like, how am I? Like, am I good? Am I happy? Would I be lying if I said I'm good? And yeah, and then now I would just say, "Great, how are you?"
Yep. That's it.
I'm always great, even if I'm having the shittiest day ever. Unless they're like good friends or like
exactly.
the coworkers that I talk to every day. Then I would say like, "Oh my god, I just ate something weird and my stomach's not doing great. So I might have to leave this meeting and then just like jump in the bathroom." TMI. TMI, TMI. Or like, I don't know, like I just like talk about some funny things like that in the meetings or like with friends. But usually on the street or whatever, you just have to say, "I'm great."
Yeah, great, thanks. How are you?
Okay. The next person. In Hungary, you should cover your mouth with your hand when you yawn in public transport. If you don't, you may appear impolite. That's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, in Japan, when I'm in public transportation or like in public, I might try to cover when I yawn really like big, mouth open, because I will get embarrassed. But a lot of people just yawn.
I mean, it's not rude.
It's not rude, yeah.
Or impolite. I feel like, yes, if you do it in the meetings or like an interview or whatever, like yarning would make it look like you're not excited or having fun or you're sleepy and tired, and like it just makes the other person look boring, and that's not good.
Yeah.
But in public transport, when you're not talking to anybody, I feel like nobody would think that it's impolite.
Yeah. Yeah. Like in the interview, like you're not supposed to yawn at all.
Yeah. No, not really about hiding it.
The next one from in the UK, not letting people off the train before boarding. Yeah. It's same in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in Japan, I feel like it's too packed that even if you don't want to let anybody out, you are pushed out. Yeah. It depends on the station, though. If it's Shibuya and Shinjuku, yes, you're out. If it's a smaller station, then
maybe you can, stay.
Yeah. The next person, this person's from the US. Not covering your mouth when coughing or sneezing. I can't believe how many times I see tourists do this in America. Yeah, that's what I had to learn as well.
Right.
Not with hands.
Right.
In the US. I think with hands it's considered dirty. So you kind of have to do this.
Right.
This.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
That's something actually someone from the UK also mentioned when they were in Japan. Because, like, a lot of the times, people in Japan sometimes, like, they just cough in your face while they're walking, and then they were really offended. Yeah, like, they're like, why don't they cover? And then they just, like, cough or sneeze in your face.
That's true. The next person, here in the Philippines, you should not ask the amount a person receives monthly from work. Yeah, in Japan, you are also not supposed to ask the salary of another person, usually. I feel like, yes, I get some parts of Southeast Asia. I feel like for example, Singapore, I felt like everybody asked me what I do for a living, and then they're trying to figure out how much I earn.
Oh, really?
So I was very surprised. But I feel like, I guess in the Philippines, you are not supposed to do that.
The next person is from the Netherlands. Dutch person here walking on bicycle lanes and standing still in the middle of a street and not getting out of the way when people approach. I get that, because the bicycle in Netherlands, it's kind of like walking.
Yeah, everybody's on the bicycle. Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. Another person, it goes, referring to the whole UK/Britain as England.
Yeah, that's something that I had to be careful of when I first started learning English and then going to the UK.
You kind of have to say England to mean England and not the whole United Kingdom.
Right. Just say UK. It's easy. Or British when you refer straight people.
And the next person, handing people things with your left hand, especially people older than you. Your right hand supported by your left one under it. is a proper home training.
This looks very polite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know what it means to hand it in the left hand, but apparently you shouldn't do that. So this person from Germany, they said Germans really don't like loud people. Talking loudly or having phone calls in public is considered rude. God forbid you are watching reels, videos, or listening to music without headphones, or have a video call in the bus, train, or at the station. But to be honest, I also prefer quiet people. Yeah, that sounds very similar to Japan.
The Germans are gonna be very surprised, be very shocked when they come to America.
Oh yeah.
They get on the train and the bus.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching something, blasting music.
Yeah, no headphones. And sometimes they have headphones on them and then just blasting music from the phone. I don't understand, but yeah, that's very normal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that was very interesting. A lot of countries have a lot of different standards.
And we learned a lot today.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Well, let us know if you know any other things like this in the comment section. Yeah.
Okay, see you in the next video.
Bye bye.